Hey y'all, sort of pulling a Chantel right now. Excuse the attire, but it is Valentine's Day here in the States. Let me get this transitioned over. So I wasn't gonna call her out. I was gonna probably wait till Saturday's live, but there is plenty, and I know that if you miss a day of foodie, you'll miss a lifetime of stuff. I'm sure the heifer's gonna do something stupid to try to walk back all the stupid shit she said. But when I wasn't planning to call out this nonsense, I was listening to Chicken Pickle as we were bringing in the groceries and stuff and putting stuff away and just straightening up. And I had to stop midway because I was just yelling at my phone. And the mister was like, tonight is going to be just us, but I want you to get this out of your system because he could see just how fired up I was about everything I was listening to. This heifer knows nothing about history. She knows nothing about pogroms or any of the things that the Jewish people went through in medieval Europe and Spain, the Inquisition, anyone. Chicken Pickle made a great point about that too. There is so much that I could touch upon as somebody who loves and still studies history because you should never stop learning, dum dum. You love to call people uneducated, but you stay just using Wikipedia as your source. Maybe read a book or two. Maybe truly educate yourself and don't just get your information from a edible encyclopedia by anybody and TikTok. But we know it's foodie. She doesn't want to put in the work or effort to prove that she isn't right. Another thing about Islamophobia is it is a real thing we experience here in America. But for you to say something like the Western world doesn't get to see what's going on in Palestine, when I covered that in my Bonnet Chronicles, how even though I'm remaining neutral in my stance because there's no right in this, this has gone on for over 80 years of conflicts and struggles. There's governmental things on both sides that are leading to these conflicts. The fact of the matter is, I cry for the Palestinian children, but I do not condone hostage taking. I do not condone the bombing. But as somebody who cannot insert myself in this and pick just one side over the other, I just want peace. I find nerve that you talk about geopolitics with so minimum information. It ain't about you siding with Palestine. It is about you being so misinformed in everything you do, so lazy in everything you attempt to do. But this is already a long enough opening, y'all. Let's get Chicken Pickle fired up because, like I said, it is only the afternoon. Tonight is going to be between me and the mister, and I will not be uploading this until tomorrow so that more views can go and watch the Chicken Pickle edit because she made a lot of good points too. Once again, I want to thank everybody who was with me during this bowel obstruction issue, the hypocalcemia, and so many other things. I am trying to stop this domino effect, and I promise you guys I am on it. But let's get this fired off because I am really, really annoyed with how ignorant Foodie was in this. She will never change, she will always do the same. Pathetic and insane. Pathetic. Really scary, he don't carry. Damn, I'm jet lagged.
Hello, little gherkins. Well, Raging Racist Ralphetta has been a bit busy. We had a sub sandwich mukbang, but we're going to skip right past that because it was boring as usual. She went live and raged her fat head about Yo Mama calling her out for using the word goblin. She started the live by saying,
"A lot of people are ignorant,"
and then got up to turn on a light.
Even before, because we know she's alone, we know she's smoking cigarettes, and we know why you're mad, Heifer. You spent your Valentine's Day without a man. You, the man that you bought, the man that you contracted. I guess you didn't have enough of a fee for him to work holidays. The fact of the matter is, I don't care about your former biggest cheerleader. I'm not even going to use his name. I just don't care enough about him. But apparently, a lot of people were agreeing with what he said. Your community tab rage that you walk back yet again because you're a coward who can't stand by anything had something that has very noted historical connotations of anti Semitism. But you can't be wrong. This is why we told you need help for your undiagnosed narcissism, your undiagnosed low functioning sociopathy, your manic moods, but you won't get that help. So all we can do is point out what we see and have you who never finished college call us who have uneducated. Whatever, Heifer.
and accidentally showed us that she's been smoking cigarettes. Anyway, let's get into the reason she's so grumpy.
Okay, I seem pissed off. I'm a little pissed off because people are spreading false information about me. Somebody who's completely obviously uneducated and whom I'll never watch again in my life. Yo mama. Now I know where
Okay,
they come.
I'm pausing that because, like I said, the whole seemingly uneducated, you notice how she's lobbing that at a black man. My last calling out the heifer was me referring to the fact that while she tried to throw Shannon under the bus for liking a comment in her comment section that had a slur, so that she and other people could gang up on FFG and say, see, your friends are racist, you must be racist, and all that other failed bullshit. Because we rallied behind Shannon, she wanted to say, well, somebody said the N word in my live and y'all condemned me for it, which your chat told you not to go in that public thing. And then you try to say in your failed podcast, well, I don't understand why people get so upset about that word. And I understand the historical connotation, but it's just about color. So, Foodie, you don't have to tell us that you don't like black people. We've been new. But you will sweat one that fucking pat your ass until he tries to give you a neutral stance on what your take was like, and you wouldn't even read into what he said. Now, I know FFG broke down what he said, and basically it was the same. You don't think of the animal monkey as racist normally. It's a cute animal normally. But when we as black people have been called monkeys to dehumanize us, we can use that term as a way of saying, please do not use it in that context. If you're saying, I like monkeys, monkeys are cute, I read Curious George because I'm into cute monkeys, that's not racist. If you say, oh, Tin, your features look like a monkey or monkey equivalent, you're being racist. If you call somebody who has Jewish heritage, even if it's not just a faith, because there are two different ways to be Jewish. You can be a Ashkenazi Jew. I'm probably saying it wrong. Ashkenazi. I want to say the phrase right, but I'm really tired, y'all. Don't mind me. But there are cultural Jews by birthright and race that grew up in the culture. There are people who convert to the religion. There are ways to be Jewish, and all of them have understandably been upset by the use of that term goblin. I also will get into, just like Chicken Pickle World, the connotation and why Foodie is wrong by saying that when the goblin was created, that it wasn't made for anti-Semitism. Because she's an uneducated heifer, and we happen to have educations.
Call him slow mama, no offense, but why post that picture, derogatory picture of me in a wig and then say that I'm anti-Semitic? Like, get a life.
For anyone who is confused, this is the post she's referring.
I'm going to pause that right there because this is you. This is from your live, that eat and cheese awful stream that got you those articles that were not very flattering, while you ate and talked about a cult that had a serious suicide issue with their members. I'm not monetized, y'all, so I'm going to use all the words I want. Foodie, stop calling people of the Jewish religion goblins. What the fuck? I was told at the very young age it was offensive to a group of people. Why can't you get the hit and move on? People need to admit to be wrong and move on. It's not a sign of weakness to say sorry. He wasn't even asking you, because you lied, saying that he was asking you to say sorry directly to FFG. That's how much that girl went room in that empty head of yours. There are people of that faith and culture who do not like that word, who knew you were using it as an offensive term to a fellow Jewish person and took offense to that, and you refused to see the wrong in your behavior because you're an undiagnosed narcissist and an undiagnosed sociopath.
To.
Like, you never come for FFG for being Islamophobic.
We're not coming for FFG because she wasn't Islamophobic. Calling you Mary Ham might seem like a juvenile and wrong insult to you, but it has nothing to do with Islam at all. She has constantly said you wear ham colors. She has called you out on sneaking eating meats that you knew were not right and haram. Actually, you're mad because she gets you 100% all the time, including having you admit to getting high while in Canada, which if you had just stayed silent, she would have looked like a fool. But you end up constantly giving us everything we need from you, you dummy.
Phobic. And not only that, okay, so I'm apparently anti-Semitic. Here's the story. I'm apparently anti-Semitic for calling, number one, I get called that for standing up for Palestine. So I just want to clarify that.
We don't care about you standing up for Palestine. Point blank, period, have your side. But those of us who care about the conflict finally ending and the loss of life ending and tired of seeing innocent people die, do not pick sides. We want peace. You dumb heifer.
I'm not anti-Jew. I have no
Bullshit.
problem with Jewish people.
Okay, I know I could pull up that thing. There's a great compilation by a young person that I just found. I think they're called Meandering Thoughts. I want to make sure that I get them right, so I will look it up and put it in the comment section. But they have an archive of you, heifer. I'm sure that that forum that you hate so much but you read a lot has an archive of you doing a certain salute. You were trying to be funny then. But you have no problems with Jews, right? You liar.
I'm anti-Zionist. I'm anti-occupation of Palestine. I'm anti the 75 years of history of.
It's over 80 years. And I remember when Yitzhak Rabin, who was trying for peace, the former Israeli prime minister, was assassinated because nobody who has money or hands or want to be right in the conflict wants actual peace. I'm not a fan of Netanyahu. I've made that known a few times. But I'm also not a fan of Hamas. I think that if we do not figure out a way to peacefully end this conflict, we are never going to end this conflict. And taking sides is the most juvenile way of handling a very serious, almost a century-long conflict that needs to be resolved because it is the Holy Lands. Dummy.
Killing thousands and thousands and thousands of Palestinians, a lot of them being children. Children with no limbs because they bombed Rafah.
She's about to say something really ignorant after this too. And like I said, I don't like seeing children suffer. The land your husband was originally from had a major conflict. And I watched a news coverage of it where this little boy looked completely shell-shocked because he was outside playing with his friends and they shelled them. And just the look on that poor child's face, just the look of that far away, I don't know what's going on, I don't feel safe. No child, no matter what country, no matter what continent they live on, should ever look like that. And we humans got to get our shit together. But if you're going to listen to this heifer lie about why she's back in Palestine, thinking that these little antics of wearing a scarf and verbal garbage diarrheaing out her mouth, talking points from Wikipedia, no. Get actually educated. Don't get your information from this heifer.
Recently. You see it in some parts of the media, but not Western media. Western media.
That's a lie. I can go on CNN, I can go on the BBC, I can go on several media outlets and find out what's going on. And before you go, well, they're only pro-Israel like this dumb heifer is going to try to say. The whole thing where I've seen both the man who found his doctor, actually, who found his child's body under a tarp and the way he wailed, the mother's giving birth while being bombs raining down, the child that I just talked about 2 Bonnet Chronicles ago that was literally delivered from a dead mother. Fuck you, Chantal. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I am in the fucking USA and I know about this stuff. So shut the fuck up.
Media shows you Taylor Swift kissing a new guy. Whatever.
But that's the shit you're into, because I didn't see shit about Taylor Swift. Also, not to knock the Super Bowl, I would have watched it if the Lions had made it to it, but it felt like set up that they wanted that Travis Kelce team to be there so they can get Taylor Swift there. I don't care enough about celebrity shit to care about any of that. But I will tell you this much. Just because we have certain events here does not mean we're trying to supersede what goes on in the world. We just can't, because we are here in the United States and it is a function of our government to handle what's going on with regards to financing or how we handle things with NATO. We as average citizens can't do fuck all for stuff that's not going on in our country. And I can tell you as a black citizen, I still have a lot more to do for my community then I can worry about what's going on. I can't even worry what's going on in the continent that my people originally came from. And there's a lot going on there too, because I'm worried about food insecurities, food deserts in our nation, being shot up, just going to the store in our nation, our education being stymied from K to 12, even though we persevere, and black women especially are the highest educated, getting our college degrees, once again, foodie. There's a lot of problems within our nation, and I'm sorry. I'm not going to be sorry for wanting to handle my home stuff before I stick my nose in other countries' business. I can't be like this cosplay and culture vulture and insert myself into things that I have no place in.
But yeah, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now that people are just ignoring, and it's really sick.
Nobody's ignoring it. Some of us actually have issues in our own homeland, you fucking heifer. Why don't you go back and take care of your stuff in Canada? Oh, that's right. You don't want to pay back that 11 grand allegedly in taxes growing because you decided that living in Kuwait meant you were exempt still. You just keep digging that trench for yourself, and I can't wait till it's... I thought I hit like... I thought I did that on the computer. Well, no, I was on my phone, so I didn't. There you go, chicken pickle. But either way, I don't agree with her saying that people just don't care. There are still plenty of protests. There are plenty of people in both the Muslim and Jewish communities that just want the conflict to stop. The fact that this stupid bitch wants to go out there saying that nobody cares when she's just sitting in her couch, not on her couch, on his gaming chair, not moving after eating copious amounts of food and smoking cigarettes because she's alone on Valentine's Day, trying to condemn those of us who actually do give a fuck, but know our place and know when to say stuff and when to be mindful. Yeah, don't get your geopolitics from this bitch.
I thought the whole reason you liked Yo Mama was because he calls out FFG and was fair. Those were your words. That he's unbiased. Now that he has called you out for bad behavior, he's the worst? Also, a lot of people in this community support Palestine, and even they wish you would shut up about it. Because like usual, you make a mockery of everything.
First ad, thank goodness for that. A little bit of a release. I'm going to make it clear. I support peace. I cannot, after all I've learned over the years of the conflict, declare one side over the other. I just want them to find a way to resolve this conflict, take care of all the citizens, have the two-state accord redrafted that is fair, get stable, adequate housing, education, and hospitals, because they've been shelled on, in the Palestinian state, and just find a way to coexist. But what I am not going to do is let this heifer continuously try to bait people into saying horrible things about either side, because I have nothing but love for both the Palestinian people and the Israeli people who are not militant and not fundamentalists. There are too many innocent people dying under a cause that has absolutely nothing to do with them. And I will stand by that because it's not right. And if you didn't
snap your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition.
But don't use TurboTax. Sorry, not sorry.
Goblin, let me educate you, okay? Before the sack of...
Before she starts with her juvenile insults because she got nothing else, she'll never educate anybody. You didn't even finish your education beyond high school, and that's questionable. You are not going to educate anybody. You're going to spew, once again, some verbal diarrhea about a topic you know nothing about. And both I and Chicken Pickle are going to ready body you with some facts, because I actually love history. I continue to keep learning because that's what you should do. As long as you're alive, you should be learning new things. That is what our human brains were made for. And I cannot stand people that go, well, I'm at an age where I don't have to learn anymore. You're a waste of space as far as I'm concerned. I don't care if you don't like it. Learn something. We've got the internet. We have books. We have ways for you to intake knowledge, even if you don't want to read. And not just Wikipedia and TikTok. There are plenty of things, even here on YouTube, docu-series, things that can keep you formally educated. There are apps for learning different languages. There is no reason for the human brain to stagnate, but there are plenty of stagnant brain humans out there. You're looking at one of them. Oh, she makes me mad.
cottage, what do I call her? The sack of crap claimed
Always with the crap talk. Always calling people turds. We know your man's in the poop, but he sure as hell don't want to poop on you. Bloop.
anti-Semitism. Number one, she says I'm not Muslim. She's not Jewish. She uses that when she needs to.
You cannot take somebody's cultural heritage, you culture vulture, misappropriator. You just became a revert and you still do everything against your faith's teachings. So that is why a lot of people, myself included, do not consider you a traditional Muslim revert. You do things your way, even if it's the wrong way. So if somebody wants to question your faith beliefs, they are allowed, because you are not a cultural Arabic person and you are not a cultural Muslim. FFG has said she does not practice the faith parts of her heritage, but she is a cultural Jewish woman. Her mother was a cultural Jewish woman. By birth, she is cultural Jewish. I know that shit goes over your big empty head, but you don't have the right telling her that she's not Jewish because somebody, maybe even she said it, I don't care if she did, that she doesn't feel that you follow your tenets properly. It's not just about religion. It is both an ethnic identity and a faith. You big, stupid person.
Just like, there's no, like, do you know what I mean? She's full of shit.
No,
anyways,
I don't know what you mean.
Maybe
no.
if she is whatever. The point is, she uses this card to gain more, like she...
And this is where the deflection and projection portion of her inane rant goes. If she is whatever is... How many times do you say something and contradict yourself? You are the worst contradicting cow out there, and I do not feel bad for the reading that you're about to get, because you just keep digging that trench deeper and deeper. You're going to hit hell yourself without even passing from the Sugarfoot.
Uses BBJ to get sympathy and manipulate her audience.
She has not used BBJ at all. I'm in her audience. I full on admit that I enjoy her lives when I can get to them. And she has given out calendars. She did not sell them. Another live foodie tried to put out there, and other people who don't care for her tried to put out there. She gives updates whenever she goes to visit the people who have BBJ. She has not once came on a live and be like, oh, BBJ's in a bad way, y'all. I need money for food. I need money for vet visits. That was you. So trying to say that anybody's using animals for sympathy when you exploit any animal in your life is so ridiculous. But I will always counter your lies with a truth bomb. Point blank.
If you actually did some research, which is why I can't stand Slow Mama anymore.
Hold on, guys. She can't educate us yet. She has to tell someone to fuck off.
Yeah, she does, JB. Go fuck yourself. Bye. Go get bent, JB.
Hi, JB. I've seen you in other people's lives and stuff. I don't know you personally, but I've seen you in other people's chats. Feel free when I start going live on Saturdays to hang in the chat. Even if you don't agree with everything I say, I won't tell you to fuck off unless you're being a racist or homophobic or something that attacks another member too much. Those are the only rules I have, and the same rules I have for the Bonnet Chronicles. I don't mind opposing opinions, but I will not take disrespect. Telling him to fuck off, or her to fuck off, I believe it's to him, because they asked you to apologize to the Jewish people again, trying to say that we only want people that support us when you have blocked anybody who dared challenge you on your anti-Semitism and your bigotry. Like I said, mirror. You need one without the filters.
Baby, I've been wanting to block your ass for a while. Go run back and kiss her ass. You're stupid. People who just blindly follow people are just ridiculous. So he's over there saying...
People who just find... Like your Beezers? Because you said people who just blindly follow people are ridiculous. I follow a lot of creators that don't even like each other. I know there are a lot of people out there that don't like me. It's a big world. It is what it is. What I'm not going to do is tell you how to run your channel. But you have a lot of nerve accusing anybody of only wanting people that agree with them. Last night, I was listening to it as I got home. This lady was trying to call FFG to task for the Miriam thing. She explained why she says it. She defended her position and left the lady in there. There are plenty of supporters of you that joined the chat that admitted it. Then watched the reaction and were like, I'm going to have to think about that. but they still came in because they're not blocked from it as long as they're subscribers to her stream, which is not a paid subscription. She calls you out for free, but there is lucrativity to it for her, and you're mad at that because you're a coin watching hateful heifer.
That I'm like, he's insinuating that I'm radicalizing everything with my post. You weaponizing her religion when it's useful.
I guess she's saying that from him being in her chat, because if she's going off that tweet, which honestly was really neutral, I don't understand why she's using that to be upset on Valentine's Day when she should have been with that man of hers. But she's going to get to a lot of things that made her upset about things that people said that she should have ignored, but she watches all of us. And she knows, and she keeps telling on herself.
For her, exactly.
Kind of like how you claim to be Muslim, but don't follow absolutely anything related to your religion unless you can use it as a shield against haters on the internet. I thought, according to you, questioning someone's religion and telling them how they should behave was one of the lowest things a person can do.
If you look at the
Pepperidge Farms remembers that argument that she made because she only uses that logic when she's defending herself. She will go around and say that you shouldn't use somebody's faith against them to try to shut her detractors up, and then go around and tell somebody that they're not ethnically Jewish because she only sees things like, I don't even know how to say it. It's like tunnel vision. She has no wider perspectives and actually no education.
history of Goblin and anti-Semitism,
Here we go.
Goblin as a mythical creature predates any type of anti-Semitic talk whatsoever.
Incorrect.
Thank
There are
you.
countless scholarly articles that I was able to locate within seconds that indicate that the term and image was a reflection of the values, morals, and views of the time, which is common with most, if not all, slurs.
And not to interrupt Chicken Pickle, but I wanted to leave that up as I add this. Yes, there are ways of saying certain words in both benign and insulting ways. And the goblin from mythical and fairy tales that she likes to bring up was made back in a time where there were pogroms. For those of you who don't know what that word is, it was the mass slaughtering of Jewish people because they were demonized. Pogroms in the early 13th and 14th century was justified by both the Catholic Church and very ancestral royal families in England who had ties to the church, and in Spain and Portugal as well. Anti-Semitism is centuries deep hatred. And the fact that she tried to say that it wasn't used for that, you know where I got a lot of my education, not just from books, from actually living in New York, having friends all over this country, both Jewish by ethnicity, Jewish converts. I even have a family member who converted to Judaism. So talking with them, actually getting proper history is so important. But what I need this heifer to know that even besides the fact that these were made by noted anti-Semitists, and I can tell you as a writer, somebody who loved like the Cthulhu series, which a lot of my science fiction work takes homage to, the man who originally wrote those series was a blatant anti-Semite who married a Jewish woman. You can't make shit make sense because hate is illogical. But when I say what I learned about the use of Goblin came from my study of Nazi propaganda from the 1930s throughout the 1940s, that's where I figured it really ramped up and was being used even today based on that. And I was educated by a dear friend who lives in Minnesota, who happens to be a Jewish woman, about the historical background of why certain things. And it's not just goblins. The whole mythical hook-nosed witch thing. As a witch myself, because there are different ways of witchcraft out there, and I get mine from both Afro and Afro-Caribbean roots and indigenous stuff. But for some people, the visuals of the European version of the witch was used to call Jewish women that. And it was also used to brutalize any woman that showed knowledge or wanting to learn and take care of themselves. So there is a lot of historical damage that hate has done, and this heifer knows nothing. And I hope that while speaking, you've had enough time to read that. But I do need you to understand that there is relevant historical context to this being a hateful term. And Foodie Beauty is just an ignorant person. Darn it. Play button. Come on.
It just so happens that right around the time Goblin was created, anti-Semitism was very prominent in Europe. But please, continue educating us, Chantal.
Please don't.
And until this person brought that up, I had, and probably from one of her audience members who was like, oh, that's anti-Semitic.
You do know that she has multicultural audience members, and she's allowed, she even admitted it last night, that even though she did originally take offense to everything that was being said, she didn't want to bring it up as anti-Semitic at first because she wasn't sure if she was being overly sensitive. Then several members who happen to be of Jewish ethnicity and faith said, no, this term is anti-Semitic, so she started calling you out. You could call her, you have several other terms for her. We've heard them all. They're all pretty whack and lame. That's why you try not to use it. You know, the only attention you get is when you go this low. And you keep using that to describe a Jewish woman. And you need to fucking stop. Now, even when people who you originally praised as being fair and unbiased call you out on this, and you still can't see that you're in the wrong, that's narcissism, honey. I don't care. It's narcissism.
I never knew that. I never knew anything about it. And then
Ignorance is not an excuse for your actions. A judge would never excuse you because you didn't know. You have been told months ago. You have had several lives where you did the I didn't know. You've been new, bitch. You just don't care. There's a difference.
You'll say, oh, well, now you know, so don't use it. Screw her. She looks like a goblin. I'm referring to FFG as looking like the short, ugly.
It's anti-Semitic. I don't care how you feel. You're being anti-Semitic every time you use it. And it's not just about FFG. It's about anybody who happens to be that ethnic or religious faith feeling a certain way about it. And those of us who watch it who go, no. I'm not going to act like as a Gen Xer, there wasn't times where I might have been insensitive growing up, but you learn, you get educated, you get told, hey, this is not the way, and you apologize and you grow from it. You don't double, triple, or quadruple down like this hefty heifer.
Monstrous, mythical creature, nothing else.
Do you know what most people with no ill intentions do when they are educated about something that may be insensitive or offensive to a particular group of people? They acknowledge it. They apologize. They educate themselves. Then they don't do it again. You may not like FFG, but your use of the slur doesn't just affect her.
Creatures who...
Not only that, but I'm going to once again remind you, and it is in my react to Barbecue Chillin's thing of her phasmophobia and that fail podcast. This heifer tried to say, while trying to throw Shannon under the bus for somebody using the N-word in her comment section and getting a like from her, that she didn't understand why people came for her about letting that doofus in her lobby who spammed that over her voice, and then tried to say she didn't understand why we who have that lobbed at us get offended by it. It's just about our skin color and not about the rampant dehumanization that word has caused our communities for centuries. This bitch is a bigot. And I am so tired of her trying to waddle her way away from the bigotry that she puts out there.
They were like, what do they call them? Fake characters? It's like, they were, okay, so they were made in like, I think the first talk about goblins as mythical creatures was like in the 14th century, which predates.
Which once again, I like to remind you, pogroms were very strong back then. And when you're trying to make a point about something so serious, and you don't even have enough mental capacity to do it without going, and trying to rack your funkel brain for a way to justify what you've done to people, maybe sit this one out there, Chief.
Any mention of it being anything anti-Semitic. So how and like what?
so glad I remembered Uber.
Oh God, Uber Eats is a thing. Wrong one, Heffa. I know I watch a lot of foodie beauty content, but I don't order food out. In fact, we got groceries. We don't do grocery hauls here. Sorry, I just don't see the point of showing people grocery hauls. I will show you when I start planting and growing my own produce because that's more exciting to me. But you know, we got food to stock up on just in case we get any more snow, and so that I can make a proper Valentine's Day dinner while I have the energy. It's gonna be lovely. We're doing steaks tonight. No offense to my vegan fans. I know some of you don't want me eating meat, but with all the stuff that I've got to do to keep my system regulated with iron and stuff, a once in a while steak is necessary, and that's what my man wanted for for Valentine's Day. All these holidays are a freaking blur to me. But I will say this: she keeps going on.
That's not all your man wanted for Valentine's Day.
Stop that. Okay. But either way, I just feel like at especially 2 a.m., it's really funny the stuff that she decided to rant on. Because at 2 a.m. last night, once we got home and got everything settled in, we were asleep. I would never disrespect my house doing stuff like that. But I'm not a lonely heifer with a contract hubby. So, you know, it is what it is.
Uber Eats has office supplies, but I feel like I'm forgetting something else. Oh,
my
shoes
God.
untied.
These commercials are getting dumb. What the heck? And now I get double ads. So, first of all, I guess all of these delivery services are trying to branch out into other things. Now you've got Uber Eats delivering office supplies. But why would you show that man without pants? Old chicken leg video. I am not understanding some of these commercials, but you know, it is what it is.
This is how AG1 works to upgrade your health routine. By combining many
And I can
quality...
tell you this, it's probably really good, AG1, but I have a thing about green liquids, green candies. I can't do it. My stomach will not allow me to digest anything that isn't vegetable green like that. And I know that they probably grinded up some vegetables to get it that green color, but it looks like Slimer in a jug. So no thank you.
So you're using Wikipedia as your source. Great. Anyway, here's some facts for you, Chantal. Let's say you're correct, and the term goblin wasn't a thing until the 14th century. Do you know what happened leading up to the 14th century? The Crusades, during which Jewish communities across Europe were slaughtered en masse. Or how...
It's called pogrom, and it is a serious thing. And they have been trying to create newer ones all the time. And with the way people are armed in certain countries, especially mine, you have to be mindful of hateful rhetoric in any form. No matter how banal it seems, it could snowball into something more serious. So don't downplay, even if clowns like Chantal want to try to. Now back to Chicken Pickle.
How about the Spanish Inquisition, where Jews were either forced from Spain or murdered? Oh, or how about the blood libel accusations that resulted in the persecution and murders of Jews in communities across Europe? I could go on, but it wasn't hard to dispute your claims that the term predates anti-Semitism. Damn, I thought you were supposed to educate us today.
Yeah, Blue Pot, do you have a problem with that? I don't care. Because for me, it's not a racist term. It's not.
So she doesn't care. For her, it's not a racist term. Even though she has been told its context, its use. She tries to break down the etymology of the word, even though she got the etymology of the word from Wikipedia. She doesn't want to dig deep because she wants to justify being right over apologizing to a community she hurt with her words. She is a very, very spiteful heifer. I am going to jump ahead just a little bit because she keeps repeating herself and it's annoying.
Great argument. Thank you for your insightful debate, you know?
Okay, can we just block people who are going to support her? Bye.
So anybody who was in her chat that night that told her that it's about apologizing for the term is automatically just supporting FFG because once again, FFG rents a free space in that heifer's empty head. Better her than me though. But she's going to get to the supposed grandmas of the situation soon. And I can't wait to laugh at that because she's dumb.
Bye. freaking ridiculous. You want to think I'm not anti-Semitic. If you want to think I am, I don't give a shit. You know?
No, you don't give a shit. You're a piece
Yeah,
of shit.
bunch of snowflakes. Except for whenever they can be.
Bunch of snowflakes. Another term that the alt-right and people who lean to a far certain side ideology uses. You're the one who's spending your Valentine's Day literally whining about not being an anti-Semite with using an anti-Semitic slur. You're the one who, instead of being with that man who you're going to bring up soon, I'm going to try to stay with this long enough because she had a doozy about the sad anniversary that made me laugh too. So let's get back to it.
Blatantly racist, and forgive Shannon for being like, they always like, you know, how would I say it?
You don't know how to speak. Hi, Julia. The only person in this sad arc that I care about. The Shannon thing I already explained earlier on in this. I'm not going to keep reiterating it. I would support Shannon over Foodie Beauty any day, and if you don't like me for it, bounce. I don't care.
They have clear racism in front of their eyes, and then they're going to, of course, find an excuse for that.
Clear racism from a person in their comment section that she made the unfortunate mistake of liking, and then she yeeted her channel because she did not want to be used as a pawn against her friend. So there's a clear difference in somebody who understands the fallout from that and somebody who literally had somebody on a live when you were warned not to be in that public area spamming that hateful term, and then you tried to justify why a person like me, who's had it said to me, had it said to my baby, had my partner called the N-word lover, and all other kinds of hateful things, still find issue with that term. And you even called it the N-word because you knew if you had said the full word, hard R, we'd be roasting you even worse. So shut the fuck up, Chantel. Really, just shut the fuck up.
But my excuse, I don't even care. I don't care what Slow Mama, I don't care what any of these stupid effing.
That's the part that kills me. The whole I don't care. Did you wash that travel mug out yet, babe?
Not yet.
Oh, because I just wanted to hold it up at her. Because it pisses me off when she keeps saying that stuff. And I love that mug. I'm going to get another one. But I think I'm going to put a little Petty University stamp underneath it too. So I've got to see who has stickers. I think Swoop does. Yeah. And I'm going to get me one. Because I gave that mug to him because he loves it. And we're going to definitely... It's in our merch shop. We are definitely going to push to calling out the Heffa line because it just tickles me, the stuff that she tries to say and get away with. Thank you, honey. But yeah, this is what I say to Chantel. Okay, dum-dum, whatever.
World reactors. I don't give a shit what any of them say or any of them think anymore.
Oh, anymore. This is like the 1,000th time she said that. Yeah, there's a whole archive of her saying that she's not going to talk about us, not going to deal with us anymore. I guess because her biggest cheerleader is not going to be unbiased and fair by kissing her ass anymore. But she'll still, especially with the Mr. Snowflakes docuseries coming up, she's going to be knee-deep in watching because we all know you have her. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter if you say you don't watch us. You spent your fucking Valentine's Day talking about us instead of talking about what's going on. So once again, okay, dum-dum, whatever.
I don't care. Like, if you haven't noticed. Like, I don't care what their perception of me is. All they do is try to, you know.
Sure, Miriam. We totally get the vibe that you just don't care. You're in a good place. You're up, allegedly, because I see the sun peeking out. I didn't know the sun came up at 2 a.m. out there. But it is a different section of the world, so maybe it does. But the fact of the matter is, you're on a day that's supposed to be celebrated with your hubby. Whether you do anything big or not, because I'm not sure if it's haram to or not. But you're on a live, raging against the people you claim to ignore. And you're not going to talk about us anymore. I guarantee you there'll be a community tab rage soon. Just saying. I don't know.
Shannon got dragged by the entire community, as does anyone else that says racist shit. Next.
I need to correct that once again because my community didn't drag her. A few of us who actually have had the term lobbed at us several times and said the same thing. She didn't directly say it. She is getting dragged for liking a comment in her comment section that maybe she should have paid more attention to. Even FFG said you should have paid more attention to it. So she got called out. And those who wanted to drag her for it maybe understand that unless you've got her on tape saying the word or calling your mama that, which was the lie that was going around, stop this, because this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, no anti-Semitism, but Islamophobia is fine according to them. And I'm not even being anti-Semitic. Like, again, look at the...
You were, and I don't want to hear why calling your scat man who wants to poop and rape people is Islamophobic. I don't want to hear how us saying that he was hairy after you literally called him hairy in that car stream that you deleted. I guess you think because you delete stuff, it didn't happen. But you called his asshole hairy. We have seen the man topless in your little beach videos. He's a hairy man. It has nothing to do with his ethnicity. Plenty of people are hairy. My guy is German American heritage and he's hairy. So I don't understand why you're trying to make non-Islamophobic things Islamophobic. I know Islamophobic terms. I will never utter any of them. A lot of them really ramped up here in the States during the Iraq War. It was awful. People attacking mosques, people attacking people who even looked, they were going after Sikh people who wear turbans because they couldn't tell. Innocent college students being gunned down by these I call them Al-Qaeda, because they thought anyone brown with an accent was a part of the Arabic culture. So until you understand what you're talking about, I suggest you have a nice cup of shut the fuck up in this nice tumbler mug because you need it, dum-dum. And I say whatever to the bullshit you say about Islamophobia because you don't even understand what Islamophobia is. And I'm going to jump to Chicken Pickle because she tends to call you out. Let me just tap it just a little bit.
You know?
No, I don't know. Shut up. Ugh.
Shannon got dragged by the entire community.
Oh, that was too much of a tap back. She didn't get dragged by the entire community, though. I'm going to say it again. There were certain people that were trying to turn this into a gotcha against FFG. And if you want to drag Shannon for liking a comment and then use it to try to make other people held accountable for a grown woman's actions, y'all are fools. And I will always call you out for being fools. And let's jump ahead because she repeated herself way too much about the Islamophobia without even understanding that there is true Islamophobia, and calling you Mary Ham might be a childish insult. It's not Islamophobic. And calling Salah salad is not Islamophobic. So stop it. Get help. But we know you won't.
To connect it to something else. I don't give a crap.
You should.
Calling him hairy and everything else, insinuating that.
Once again, I don't care about the whole calling because you called him hairy. You're dumb.
As ham-colored has been a thing long before you even met Salah.
Exactly.
Regardless, two wrongs don't make a right. If you're going to cry Islamophobia, you don't fight that by being anti-Semitic. All that does is put you at the same level of those you condemn.
It's too dumb to apologize. It's too dumb. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not apologizing for something I didn't.
We know you're not apologizing. You're a piece of shit.
Those fake ads really drive you mad, huh? The game looks so fun in the ads, but when you download it, it's a totally...
I mean, you can still be, both, but it's just ridiculous. Nobody... Did anyone know about that, before? Be real.
I'm being real. I knew about it, and you need to stop trying to justify using an anti-Semitic term against a Jewish person. Good freaking golly, she's annoying. I'm jumping ahead a little bit more because my soul feels like it gets siphoned when I deal with this heifer too much.
There's nowhere. And yes, there is connotations of it, but that's not how I used it. And I'm not apologizing for it.
We know you're not. You're a big piece of shit. Which should be attractive to your scat man, but apparently he's not attracted to your level piece of shit.
When folklore was emerging in medieval Europe, common anti-Semitic stereotypes and myths like blood libel, deicide, Jews' association with money, and what Jews looked like were also beginning to form. What you're failing to comprehend is that although the anti-Semites of the 14th century may have disguised their anti-Semitism in folklore, It does not mean that they didn't create them as a derogatory caricature of Jews at the time.
Exactly.
Like, people ask me why I keep my circle small. That's why.
You keep your circle small because, oh, look at that hand. Oh, my gosh. Look at my hands again, Chantel. I know you get mad when I say that, bitch. Visible weight loss versus your lies, Miss. I gained 10 pounds and I believe you gained a lot more than that, but it is what it is. Apparently, some reactors think it's mean to point out the obvious on you, even though I'm a hefty heifer too. It's just fat on fat crime at this point, but you know, whatever. I'm not here to be nice. I'm here to be real.
Meaty poor.
You are so crazy. Stop it, honey. But for real, I just really, he tickles himself. I should have did this on not your time off, but I feel like the whole idea of her saying she keeps her circles small is because it's been pointed out that she has no friends. The only friend that she has left, I hope, opens his eyes one day that you've got to stop letting her emotionally manipulate you into coming to her defense. She's never gonna love you the way you love her. She only uses you as a backup sandwich, basically. And you need to stop letting her tear you apart bit by bit. You have no friends. You are in a whole entire new country where you could make friends with the females there, but you refuse because you have internalized misogyny, where you like what you represent as a female, which isn't much, but you cannot stand other females, especially those of us who can still have babies and who have babies. Because, I don't know, uterus envy is a thing with her.
Because I don't trust people and I have reason to.
You don't trust people because you surround yourself with only people that pat you on the ass while trying to find ways to take you down with your own words. And the people that are good to you, if they don't want to be starred in your bullshit YouTube series, you cut them out. You are a user and a manipulator, and people get tired of that shit. And they set hard boundaries with you, and you get mad about that. Your best friend for over 20 years. You didn't stay with her when she needed you during a mental health crisis. You talk shit about her kids that you actually held in your arms when they were babies. You are a piece of shit, Chantel, but still not enough of a piece of shit for Salah to want you. Imagine that.
Of course, Chantal. You're always just the victim. You never ever do anything to instigate any of this.
Seriously, it's useless. People need to find better things to do with their time. Like, seriously, what happens if you
I'm a mom. I could fucking multitask, stupid. I know you can't. And I have a partner that, even though it's his freaking day off, is helping me out by folding the laundry and doing things with me so that I don't overtax myself. But unlike you, I still listen to the doctors and got physical activity today. So, you know, I don't understand your life, but I do understand that you can't wrap your empty head around the fact that people can do more things than once. And it ain't about not having a life. It's about picking apart the fact that you don't have a life. Bloop.
Die next week. Like, what?
I had a bowel obstruction. I might have been able to say that I might not have made it, but thank goodness I can't and I won't, because I'm a tough old bird that wants to keep going. Even if I left this mortal coil, I would still have enough content about your life to call you out that people would laugh at. And that's fun for me. Also, I'm not monetized. Have no plans to be monetized. This is a side project for me to get out all the negative energy I feel when I ingest the bullshit you put out there. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. And there are plenty of people that do YouTube for financial things. It's none of your business, Heffa. You made it lucrative being a whole ass mess. You're just mad that we can keep reminding you that you only make money when you're a whole ass mess. Bloop.
What did you do with your effing life? You sat there and talked about the same person you don't like eating an effing...
Once again, that's FFG, and once again, I'll remind you, she went back to school. She got a good job. She's buying a house off of the side hustle that she got calling you out. We know you're jealous of her, Heffa. Get over yourself.
Effing sandwich. Like, what kind of life are you living? Anyway... I mean, I'm sorry. I would rather be eating the sandwich than sitting around.
We know you would rather be eating the sandwich. Everything about you is what you'd rather be shoveling in that gullet of yours. But what we would rather do is call you out. It's fair use. Why more about it, victim girl? The patron saint of victimhood at this point.
I'm talking about the person eating the sandwich. It's ridiculous.
Because you're not smart enough, witty enough, or, fun enough. You tried to be funny and your insults don't land. So you get mad when people say, well, that really wasn't it for you, Heffa. And then you walk it back because you know you can't do this. So instead of being mad at those of us who can, just do what you do. Shovel food in your face and whine about everybody mocking you. I mean, it is what it is. It's a perpetual cycle of fuckery.
She really thinks this is all we do. Chantal, what's crazy is we make these videos or talk shit on Twitter in our free time. What we see from you, however, is the extent of how exciting your life is. Sitting in that apartment alone, eating yourself into an early grave. That might sound harsh, but tell me it's not true.
It is.
Calling salad is Islamophobic.
Point blank, it's not Islamophobic. Shut the fuck up, Beezers. Okay, dum-dums, whatever. But for real, the whole idea of saying that we have no life, when this doesn't even take more than maybe an hour, I'm getting close to that, to literally call you out and then go back to the stuff that I plan to do. And unlike you, who has to monetize your entire lack of a life, I don't vlog my home anymore because I thought that shit was boring. I don't understand the point of it. I don't vlog what I shop for at groceries because it's not about hiding anything. It's just banal to me. I don't understand why anybody would want to watch that. I don't need to, but I probably should and try to do more cooking videos because they're way better than yours, and I can actually stand at my stove and sink without being out of breath and completely covered in sweat in the winter time. The fact of the matter is, not everybody wants to put their lives on display like a zoo animal like you do. And the fact that that is your only argument against us is kind of ridiculous because, once again, I need to remind you, I don't make my coins from this. I am an author. I am working on several actual creative projects with friends and with my partner. There is absolutely no reason for me to bank on YouTube money. I also make my actual streaming money off Twitch for the Bonnet Chronicles. So the fact that you think that people can't make money without talking about you is such a narrow view. But you're a narrow-minded heifer, so I'm not shocked.
Yeah, exactly. They said it's a typo. Well, you know now that it's Islamophobic.
I don't care about
how much subscribers I lose. I don't care about any of that crap. I never come on here and cry about it. You never see me go, oh no, people are unsubscribing. I don't care. I never come on here and cry about my views. I don't care. I'm very grateful for everything.
She's never cried about her views. Who cares? But she has chased off plenty of loyal people. And then she had to walk it back because she was trying to be a bad bitch when she was making that $20K per month chasing that Canadian crack demon. She says she don't care, but why are you talking about it then, bitch? You're talking about it because somebody pointed out clearly that even though your views have been tanking, you got 800 subs after deleting a bunch of views. That math don't fucking math, Heffa. You know it. We know it. You're trying really hard to get that 100K plaque. And if you do, it's going to be under Everyday Miriam instead of your legacy as Foodie Beauty. We'll all know that it will have a forever asterisk point to it. So it doesn't matter. You're the one who needs that internet validation. We're the ones that point out that it's ridiculous. It is what it is.
I have, even if I get like 500 views, I don't care. That's 500 people watching me, whatever. I don't need the money that I used to support.
Sure you don't, because all that money goes into his pockets and you're trying to punish him for embarrassing you. We all surmised that a while ago. And as somebody who's new to this, who really doesn't bank on a lot of views, because I still don't get it. I don't care about that stuff, and I'm not saying that to mirror this dumb heifer. I just don't understand the relevancy of it. I like the people who watch and interact. I know that those people actually watch the videos because they leave comments and I comment back at them. It ain't about the view numbers normally. It's about building a community that you can talk with, that you can have healthy debates with, that help you grow as a person. But we know the only thing that Chantal grows is in her girth. And I don't care if you think I'm mean by saying that. I'm here to be chaotic neutral, y'all. I know she tried to placate people like me and say, let's be nice, while I was laying in a hospital bed for the blockage. That wasn't me being nice. That was me putting me first, stupid.
myself, you know, I have a supportive husband. People don't believe that. I don't give a crap. Whatever. You don't know
Exit
anything
out.
about my life. You don't know what the truth is. All speculation. Like that.
I know I seen your man saying that he wanted to grape somebody with their cross in the Bible. I know that he wanted to lick her butthole for 8 hours. I know that he woof. Exactly, honey. That's the reaction you should have. I heard his pathetic woof. I heard him in his own voice leaving those god awful messages to her. And I knew it was a honey trap that your dumb supportive man fell for. It must really like stick in your craw that the whole internet forever has that against the both of you. But that's what you get for living your entire life, whether you're pious now or not, on the freaking internet. It is what it is. You're not above critique, dummy.
That person I posted on my community post. Now people are like, no wonder people think I'm a liar. Like,
I'm not gonna. Whatever was said back in the day, since it was technically not archived about her sister, we'll find out in the Mr. Snowflake documentary, because I'm sure that he's gotten to resources that might have what she said about what she did to her sister out there. But even if it wasn't, you continuously try to dox that woman, and I'm not going to have that on my thing at all. This is ridiculous. Let's go back to Chicken Pickle, because I am over this heifer and her bullshit.
This year,
Oh,
this gal's gonna get some sleep.
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
I got shit.
This new year, it's time to finally learn the crochet skills you've always wanted to learn for just one.
There are like literal grandmother reaction channels who spend their friggin' golden years talking about me. Like, it's ridiculous.
We're loud. It's called criticism. I'm not even a grandma yet. I do love how, because I call myself old, because I will be 47 in a few months. And that's just an inside joke for me. I feel like anybody Gen X can joke about our age and not take it so fucking personal. I'm still young enough and capable to have kids. Something you gave up. Once again, I'm being mean. I don't care. Feel free to not watch me if you don't like the fact that I call this quitter a quitter. The thing is, anybody at any age, you got people around the globe, all age ranging, taking what you put on the internet and giving fair use critique to it. And some of us who wait for other better editors of your fuck shit to put stuff out and reacting to that. I want you to understand something. They could be in their golden years, they could be in their early years, and they could still see the things that you do and say as wrong. But the fact that you think that they're not allowed to spend their time on YouTube, which is a platform where anybody can build their communities and audience, is laughable. Because you literally built yours on poop and vomit stories. Let us not forget.
Ridiculous. Get a life.
Bitch, I have a job. I assure you, you do not pay my bills. You can talk all the shit you want about elderly members of the community wasting their golden years, but you won't make it to the golden years.
The story has been around for years, but you...
Exactly, and she has been so jealous of that. But y'all, it has only been 16 minutes in, and I am really trying to keep my energy up, because like I said, I got Valentine's Day dinner to make. I am all, well, I'm not gonna say pretty though, because I don't really view myself as pretty. I just wanted to look nice for tonight, and you know,
You're pretty.
You're silly. I love you. But the thing is, I just want y'all to know that I appreciated all the well wishes. I didn't want this to go too long, over an hour, and I would really prefer you watch the rest of Chicken Pickle, because it's like I said, they really have this heifer's number. They've been calling her out for a bit now, and none of us pay our bills with your stuff. You're not interested enough to do that. Maybe if I started really digging out the old you, I might get more play and traction, but I don't need to go that deep. And plus, you're horrifying. Just that CPAP stink breath and the bags of trash thing, I'm not ready to traumatize my brain with you so soon after everything I went through. So I'm going to wrap this up. Wish you all who are into this day a happy Valentine's Day. Or if you're like me, you're just like, all right, it's just another day of love with my partner. I really don't care about the commercialized thing. I did want her to get to the whole welfare flowers thing, so I will say this like that. That sad anniversary was funny. I mocked both the pictures, the cake, the fact that your man was like really robotic and wooden in all his actions, the dark restaurant and stuff. Bitch, who the fuck films at a romantic anniversary restaurant? only desperados. Most of us, when we celebrate our anniversaries, that's just between me and my partner. It's not for a camera to be stuck in our fucking faces while we're trying to enjoy ourselves. That's the difference. Nobody called your flowers welfare flowers. I don't even fucking understand that. If they did, it was probably on Twitter where people are allowed to have that opinion. But no. And the fact that we counted that it wasn't a dozen roses and there were flowers in there that could have harmed Julia. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it was still a sad anniversary whether you wanted to admit it or not. But like I said, this ending is a bit long too. I'm going to wrap this up. Go see what I can do to make the day better.
Were they from Sala?
No, she bought those herself.
Well, I was going to say if they're from Sala or if they were from the Turd Burglar, he probably got them from hanging out somebody's restroom.
Oh my goodness, probably. But I'm going to say this. It was not something that she should have put on the internet. And she's just mad because she got clowned on. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to put this up tomorrow. So me wishing you happy Valentine's Day is probably moot anyway because I don't want to step on another reactor's toes. And I love that they allow me to utilize their edits and commentary and then added my witty commentary onto it, which this is just my opinion. Y'all might not find me witty at all. But I'm going to wrap this up. Get going, plan the rest of this. I'm going to set this as a premiere for tomorrow morning. So, you know, I still wish you a belated happy Valentine's Day then. But I'm going to really go this time. No more Minnesota goodbyes. And I'll see you all soon.